What is this metal frame with tempered glass nearby? Found at the bottom of a property by Lewis and Clark Lake in South Dakota. We can't figure it out. It's about 6 feet by 4 feet. Our thoughts so far are a fast food drive-through window and an industrial chemical hood vent. If anyone has a clue about what it is, that would be greatly helpful. It's an upside-down vintage drive-up bank teller window. Here's an identical one, and it's odd for it to be out there. I'll bet someone was testing the bulletproof glass. It was mostly used from the 1950s through the 1980s, peaking during the post-World War II suburban boom when car culture and drive-in banking rapidly expanded. It became standard equipment for suburban bank branches designed around automobile access rather than foot traffic, to service customers directly in their vehicles. What is this weird green container I found lying in the Australian bush? About 70 centimeters long, it contains something inside, but I'm too scared to open. I'm curious to know if anyone can help me identify what this is. It's a Carl Gustaf 84mm recoilless rifle double-pack ammo container. As such, they might contain high explosive ammunition and should be treated with care. Probably best to alert the proper authorities. The Carl Gustaf 84mm recoilless rifle is a Swedish-developed shoulder-fired recoilless rifle, initially developed by the Royal Swedish Army Materiel Administration during the second half of the 1940s as a crew-served man-portable infantry support gun for close-range multi-role anti-armor, anti-personnel, battlefield illumination, smoke screening, and marking fire. What is this brass tool with one movable arm I found at a local flea market, and now it's perplexing me? Approximately 8 to 9 inches long, it has no maker's marks of any kind, and it appears to only have one movable arm. The static arm has a chock in the bottom of the arm, with what I believe is a small block of rosin, much like violin rosin, but I have no way of checking what it actually is. The little lip underneath the triangular top piece gives me a sense it holds a larger block of rosin in place that I assume has since broken off. I would assume this tool is extended, and then hung from the hole in the center of the triangular top piece. Can anyone help with identifying what it is? It's a hanging fulcrum from a Victorian apothecary balance scale, the central pivoting assembly from which the balance beam of an apothecary scale is suspended. It acts as the physical center of gravity and balance point for the lever beam. The piece of material in the bottom is likely the remains of an agate bearing and not rosin. Rosin would be slightly sticky, and you definitely wouldn't want that on your balance. What is this round wooden item I found at a local thrift store in Mankato, Minnesota? Around 10 inches in diameter, 1.5 inches thick, and it opens to reveal some slots. The top seems to be textured rubber, and originally I thought it was a practice drum pad, but then I saw the indents on the side and realized it slid open to reveal the grooved areas. I'm not aware of any Pioneer Bank in the area. I grew up there. And it doesn't look like a promotional item, but I'm just stuck. Reverse image searches aren't very helpful anymore. Suggestions are that it may be for change, but the grooves seem too shallow. Any insights would be greatly appreciated. It's a promotional swivel-based cheese board. Too bad it's missing its contents. That looks like a pretty decent set. Made of acacia wood, this serving block has a slate cutting top and swivels open to reveal a set of 2 cheese knives, a fork, and a multifunction bar tool. What is this metal gadget about 15 inches long, from an art studio? It has a heavy headpiece, with a rod coming out ruled to 12 inches, and it looks like it should rotate, but I can't get it to. The box also had 2 long square rods and a circular metal object with a circle or hexagon shape cut out of the middle. It is marked Eureka and Summer and Maca. Thanks so much if you have any info. It's an antique rotary glass cutter, missing the bit to attach the cutter to the main gadget, designed primarily for glaziers. It was patented on July 4th, 1922 by Carl F. Doer of Yonkers, New York. The tool allows users to accurately cut circular glass discs of any desired diameter while making the cutting process easier, smoother, and more reliable. The cutter head holds multiple small cutting wheels arranged in a circle. When one wheel becomes dull or damaged, the user simply rotates the cutter head to bring a fresh wheel into position instead of replacing the entire cutter. What is this tool used for magnification, with metal clips and heavier than it looks? My grandpa owned this and loved it. Now my grandma and I were trying to figure out what it is. Has anyone seen anything like this before? It's called a helping hand, also known as a third hand, soldering hand, or extra hands, a type of extremely adjustable jig used in soldering and craftwork to hold materials near each other so that the user can work on them. I own an identical one, and they are extremely useful. Otherwise, you'll end up needing 3 hands to hold something in position and work on it at the same time. The wires are held by crocodile clips, held steady, and then carefully have solder applied under the magnifier. This tool gained widespread popularity in hobbyist and electronics workshops by the early 1970s. What is this highly custom 3D printed and metal device found on the Oregon coast? Everything is 3D printed other than the obvious metal parts and the floats. The gear has magnets in it, and it seems that the shaft has a bearing on the end, but it's seized. The holders on the floats are made of a special flexible filament. I haven't had luck Googling other than suggestions for a custom scientific device. Let me know if you have any idea what this thing is. It's part of a whale tracking tag, often called a Fitbit for whales. It is deployed safely onto a whale's back using a specialized drone system, and it releases when the tag attaches to the whale, rather than traditional close quarters pole or dart methods. The soft suction cups attach temporarily, collect comprehensive short-term data, typically for about 24 hours, and harmlessly detach and float to the surface to be retrieved. It contains integrated GPS, depth sensors, accelerometers, magnetometers, and temperature gauges. It is equipped with a hydrophone and camera to record vocalizations, ambient shipping noise, and underwater behavior. It dives with the whale into the abyss, and it tracks hunting strategies, deep water feeding events, movement energetics, and reactions to human disturbances like shipping lanes. What is this thing I found in the woods near my home in western Pennsylvania? Approximately 10 inches wide, and the substrate is vinyl or plastic with the graphics printed on it. As you can see, the colors are pretty vivid for being buried in dirt for what I can only guess is 30+ years. A Google AI search suggested it shares characteristics with Hayes Stinger ignition decals, often used for hot rods and classic cars. This sent me down a rabbit hole, and I could not find anything to confirm. I do agree that the logos do share characteristics. Any information would be appreciated. Please tell us down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.